everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be making a pop-up Christmas card. It's got a snowflake design on it, so everybody will love it. I hope that you are going to make one for yourself. So grab your supplies and let's get started. This is the project that we are going to be making today, and this is the snowflake pop-up card. It is a Cricut Access card, so if you don't have a subscription you may need to pay a small fee to use this design. I'm going to show you how to get a hold of this now. So if you go into projects on the left hand side, and because these are quite a recent addition to Cricut Access, they are still on the front page. If you scroll down you'll see them all just there. There's quite a few different pop-up cards. If they are not here now, if you're watching this video in the future, if you click on search projects and just type in pop-up card, and that will bring up all of the pop-ups that are available. I have made the Christmas tree one as well. I did make a few changes to that though. I took out all of these little tiny intricate cuts because my machine just couldn't seem to handle it. I changed the cardstock, I changed my settings, I used a branding mat. It still wouldn't work, so I used contour and got rid of all of the little cuts in there, and then I used some little pearl drops just to make it pretty, and it worked out really well in the end. So the one that we are going to make today together is this snowflake one. So if we just click on it here. So now on the screen we've got all of the information that Cricut give us about this project. So there's a few pictures of the project and then one of all the elements that will cut when you make this project. You've got all the different information that Cricut have provided us with, sizing, the description, what materials you'll need, and what things you'll need for your Cricut machine, etc, etc. And then you have got information about how to cut and how to customize. Now this is where we come unstuck with Cricut's information, because this project really does need instructions and it's difficult to put together if you don't know how to do it. And I didn't know how to do it at first, so I thought I'm going to look through Cricut's instructions and I'll be able to do it like I have done with other projects. However, this is where we come a bit unstuck, because if you scroll down you can see here this should be a photograph, and we just keep going and we've got the first prompt as to what to do. So if we scroll across there should be a photo here, and you can see it, it's there, but it's so massive that it's really hard to see exactly what it is you're looking at. You need to be seeing this on a smaller scale for you to be able to follow it. And then you also get this. So I've scrolled down now and I haven't moved my mouse, and I can see the picture that I need to be able to see, but I want to be able to read what it says in the description also. So if I move my mouse now to read the description, that picture's disappeared and it's made it huge. In fact, I don't even think it's made it huge. I don't know where it's gone. So that is what's happening with it. But that's the reason why I'm making this video. So I am now going to click on Customize to get it onto my screen. And I've already actually got it on the screen. So I'm going to click on Replace. Okay, so here are all the elements that are included in this cut. I'm just going to scale my screen down slightly so you can see all of the pieces. So we've got all the different snowflake shapes, a few different bits for reinforcing the card itself, and then we've got the envelope. I'm not making that in today's video. If you need to make that, it's pretty self-explanatory. If you don't want to make that, you can hide it by just clicking on the little eyes over here on the right hand side. So just got rid of that. So now I'm ready to make this card. You will see as well that everything is grouped together in one big group, and the reason for that is that if you wish to resize it you can. I wouldn't recommend going any smaller because it's a pretty intricate cut as it is. If you go smaller your machine may well struggle to cut it, so I would leave it at the size that it is. It comes out at a decent size for a Christmas card. So now all we are going to do is click on Make It. I'm going to go through the cutting process on my machine and then I'll come back to you once I've got everything cut and we can start assembling. Okay, so now everything's cut out, we can start to assemble the card. So first of all, you need to get these two pieces and just pop them together so they just slot into one another to create a cross like this. And then you'll need this tiny little piece, and this is basically going to reinforce the bottom of your card here. So what you'll want to do is turn it over, and it's going to be a bit fiddly. So let's just move the other bits out of the way. And what I'm going to do first of all is get some glue on my little reinforcing piece. So you'll want to fold along the score line so that it makes it like this, okay? And then you're going to want to just pop some glue on these sides here. Just using tacky glue again, like I usually do, just my usual hobbycraft stuff. And this is going to be a bit fiddly, I think, so just be careful. You'll want to hold your design. So just pop that on the one side, like that. And then you'll need to put some glue on this side as well. Because this is tacky glue, you might need to hold it for a couple of minutes to let it dry. Just while that is on there. So just let the glue dry on the little piece at the bottom that we've just put on. And the best way that I found to do the next part is to set it up so that my snowflake is in a cross shape. And you've now got to look at your snowflake pieces that you've got cut, because these are both different even though they do look the same. So you've got two that have got 3 slots in them. So you've got the slot at the top and then 2 side slots here on both of those ones. And then this one and this one have just got 3 slots at the bottom. So keep them separate. So we're going to do this one first, and this is the one with the 3 slots in it. And I'm going to put this one on here now, and it goes with this slot. The single slot goes down onto your snowflake, and I'm putting that down on the slot that is nearest to me. You just need to be careful because it's quite fiddly. Next, once you've got that one on, you want to get the one that again has got 3 slots, so 2 at the bottom and 1 at the top, and you want to turn it round so that the single slot is at the bottom and put it on the opposite side of the one we've just done. So now instead of it just being the cross shape, we've got the cross of the first 2 that we put on and then 2 on either side, okay? So now what we're going to do is take the snowflake that's got the 3 slots in it, and these are going to go in here and in here. So I'm just going to straighten that one up, and this is quite fiddly, so what I like to do is just put my fingers in between the slots here, and then I'm going to use my other hand to put this in. And it is fiddly, just take your time whilst you're doing it and just make sure that you get them in the right spot. Just use your other hand to hold it steady while you get them in the right place. Okay, so once you've got that piece in, then you need to do exactly the same on the other side with your other piece. So I'm just keeping my fingers where they were before, and I'm just going to use them as a guide to get that piece into there. Okay, so now we've got our snowflake, and it's still very, very delicate because it's made to collapse and be pop-up. So just keep it very, very carefully like that. So now that is how it should be. We can move on to the next step. The next piece that we're going to put onto our snowflake are the 2 bottom stabilising pieces. So what you'll want to do is just fold along the score lines like this gently. And these are basically going to make a square shape underneath, and then this will sort of act like a little box to hold up the snowflake. Okay, so I've got my snowflake put back together, and what I'm going to do is put my fingers in the middle, and I'm holding everything together with my fingers down the centres. Okay, so I'm turning it this way around so you can see what I'm going to do. So I'm getting my square pieces now, and I'm going to make a square shape. So this is going to be the corner here, so it's going to go there like that. So you want to slot the middle slot into there on this round piece. Okay, so let me show you again. So if you're looking at your piece like this, and then you're looking at your rounded slot here, pop that piece into there like that. All right, and then you'll want to slot all your other slots in. So just bend that one round a little bit. It's fiddly because you're working kind of one-handed at this stage. And then again, you've got your other side, so get your middle slot and slot it onto there, and then that will also join up with your other piece that you've put in place there. Okay, so now again, this one here is going to go onto the strut at the bottom of the snowflake. Right, that is on there, and then this one here is going to slot into this other support piece that we've put on, and it's going to connect together. Okay, so once we've got that piece on at the bottom, it should look like this at the bottom. So next up is this piece, and it will have 2 slots in it and a score line down the middle. So what you want to do first of all is fold your score line over, and I'm just going to give it a really good crease with my squeegee just to make sure that it's nice and flat, because that's the part that will fold in your card when your snowflake is in there. So what we're going to do now is put the 2 square flaps that are on the stabilizing box that we've just applied in the last step, and they're going to go underneath here. So I'm going to just carefully bend that out a little bit so that we've got room to get them under. I'm going to hold the top, and these are the 2 pieces I'm talking about here, and they're going to go underneath there. So I'm sorry if this is a bit wonky on the camera now, but I've arranged you a little bit differently. So this is the problem with this, is it keeps falling over and these bits keep coming apart. So what I'm going to do is just get these 2 flat pieces that are sticking out, and I want them to go underneath there on that slot. So let's just push that up a little bit and very carefully slide those underneath and in. I might just get that in there. Alright, so that is in there now. So now I need to turn it around and do the same thing on this side. There again, and I'm going to just do exactly the same as we did on the other side. So they're now going to go into this little slot here. So I'm just going to lift that up carefully. This is so fiddly. I'm going to get a weeding tool to help a little bit with that. Okay, that one's under 2. And then I'm going to just pull them through from the other side. Okay, so they are now in those slots, and if we turn it over, you can see them on the other side as well. Right, so we've got them both underneath there now. Okay, so that is now held onto that base piece like we want it to be. Okay, so now that we've got those 2 slots sorted underneath, we're going to carefully turn it over, and we want to glue those 4 little pieces of card onto the bottom of our blue base piece. So I'm just going to pop some glue in those gaps there. I'm just using my precision bottle for this because it makes it a little bit easier. And what you'll want to do is try and get it as flat as you can and get those little bits through as far as possible. So you may need, I'm just going to use a weeding tool to do that and just pull them so that they are really close up to the score line underneath, and then I'm just going to press from above here with my fingers and just hold it down until the glue has set pretty well, and then that will hold that in place. So the next piece we're going to use is the round circle, and this needs to be folded again along the score line, and it needs to follow the same fold as the blue piece that we've put on the bottom here. So we need to fold it upwards like that, and then again I'm going to just use my squeegee scraper thingy to just make that a nice clean fold. Alright, and then this gets stuck onto the bottom of this piece now when it's dry. Let's have a look, is it tacked on? So now that this is stuck together nicely, we can put this piece on and line it up. So what I'm going to do, because I don't want any glue to show through these holes here onto this piece, because this piece will be visible, I'm going to use my glue bottle to just dot my glue all the way around here. This is just tacky glue that I have decanted into this bottle. I'll put a link down below for this as well. Okay, and then once that's on there, you need to line up your score line with your score line on here. So I'm going to do it this way around. I'm going to put that flat on there, and then I will do it on the desk. Okay, let's just press that down a little bit and just let that set maybe for about 10 minutes or so before you do the next piece. Alright then, so the next step is to assemble our base card piece. So what we need to do is make sure that the triangles on here are loose so that we can slot in our base from our snowflake into there, because that's how it's going to hold it onto the card. So we just need to make sure we don't put any glue on these triangle pieces because we need them to be loose. Okay, so we're going to leave about 5mm around the edge of the card for it to move. So that's about that position that I've got it there. Okay, so we just need to make sure as well that they're nice and aligned at the top and at the bottom. So first of all, I'm going to just grab my glue again. I'm just going to pop some glue all the way around here and all the way around here. Yeah, at the top. And I'm going to go in these gaps, but not overly. So we can pop this one on there first of all. And again, let's just be careful when we're putting it down. Just make sure we get in the right spot. Let's just press this down and then do the same for this one. And now what you want to remember for this side, because on the other side of here we've got the snowflake, we don't want to get any glue on this section because we don't want it to show through on the front of the card. So we are going to just very carefully go around the edge on this one, round the sides, and then a little bit here and nothing in the centre. So again, let's just carefully do that. Just want to keep it quite thin. Let's put a bit there and a bit more here, so that's not going to interfere with that. Okay, and then we just need to line this square up with the other square. So again, keep your distance the same and just pop it down. Okay, and I'm just going to check that we haven't got any glue there, and we haven't, so the snowflake looks really nice and clean. Okay, so now we can test our Snowflake's foldability. So what we're going to do is just fold the circle in half and it should go flat. Perfect. Okay, so it's nice and flat now. So when we open it back up, it should pop up. Okay, good. So now we're ready, almost ready to pop our snowflake into our card. First of all, the last thing we need to do before we do that is just lift up these triangles. I'm just going to use my weeding tool to help to lift these up because they're a bit flat. And they look a bit like beaks on little baby birds. So there we go, keep those up. Now we're going to just slide our base circle underneath here, and don't forget to make sure that your fold line here is along the fold line of your card. So let's start off at the top here and we're just going to slide that into there. Let's turn it around slightly, keep it nice and flat, and then we're going to do the same with this one and the same with this one. So just lift it up and pop it over the top. There we go. And then the last one here. The last one you might need to use your weeding tool just to lift it up. Okay, and that is under there. And we can press those down nicely. So once you've got all of your base piece underneath your triangles, so now you can fold up your card and check that the pop-up is working well. So let's just fold it, and the card is nice and flat, so it can go into the envelope to be sent. And then if we open it back up, snowflake. So then this is the finished card. It just looks pretty plain from the front, but when you open it, it's amazing. So let's just do that now. Look at the pop-up snowflake. I love how intricate the cut is and how pretty it's come out. It's not that easy to put together, it's quite fiddly, but once you have got the hang of it, you'll be fine. And there are quite a few different ones on Design Space that you could make. So I hope you've enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you have, I'd love to see you for the next one, so don't forget to subscribe. If you have enjoyed this video, please drop me a like down below, and any comments or questions that you might have, I love to hear from you and I will always respond personally. So that's it for today. I hope you have a great week. Take care of yourselves and I'll see you soon. Bye.